The way Chris Brown, Tory Lanez, and Diddy may be having the best week ever, girl, the way y'all all need to backflip into, let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What's going on, you all? We got to talk about Tory Lanez and Chris Brown, some of the worst, most disgusting people on the face of this planet. It has been a month or a couple of months for people like Tory Lanez, Diddy, Shannon Sharp. All of y'all got something in common. All of y'all need to go ahead and backflip into the abyss. So let's go ahead and get into it. We got to talk about Chris Brown. Chris Brown was arrested. Child, he is on tour right now, and he done made a stop in Manchester, and them folks said, clinkily clink, arrest her. So Chris Brown maybe had no idea that he had charges or anything, and homeboy got snatched up in the hotel room. So let's talk about it. Singer Chris Brown was arrested Thursday in England for allegedly hitting someone with a bottle in a nightclub in London in 2023. The Metropolitan Police did not name Brown, but said it took a 36-year-old into custody at a Manchester hotel on suspicion of causing grievous bodily harm. Under British law, police cannot name suspects before charges are filed. The Sun, which first reported the story, said producer Abe D told them Sunday that he was hospitalized after Brown beat him in an unprovoked attack at the Tape nightclub in the swanky Mayfair neighborhood in London in February of 2023. So I'm not shocked. We're not shocked. How many times have you seen me do a video about Chris Brown and his accusations or things he's done? How many times have we heard about someone accusing him of something, somebody being on a tour bus or something with him, somebody being in his house, somebody saying he did this, the Frank Ocean incident? How many times? Funny enough, there is a documentary on Prime. There's two documentaries about Chris Brown on Prime right now. One of them is going into all of the history of Chris Brown and all the things he's done. And there's another one of Chris Brown basically trying to do PR, like trying to do public relations. That whole documentary is him talking about all the things he's experienced and how he's grown. He has Usher in the documentary. You know what? I actually encourage people to watch it because I want you all to see how many of your favorite celebrities are on this documentary defending this man and knowing what this documentary is giving. You got Usher sitting up there just, yeah. You got people, hey, Victoria Monet, begging to be opening up for him. Victoria Monet, you are a girl. You are that girl. And you are stooping so low to be an opener for Chris Brown. Like, Kelly Rowland, where you at? Hold up. Wait. Like, y'all are putting y'all social capital on the line for this backflipping. Like, for what? That man just posted Free Tory Lanez on Instagram. And before that story is even expired, hopefully he's expiring in prison.
I never called the police on you, but now I will. You see you in prison.
That man got locked up before the expiration of his Instagram story saying Free Tory Lanez. You can't make this up. That man literally said Free Tory. Free Tory. There is no coincidence that this man is supporting a known abuser who's been convicted of crimes. All of them are linking up. And remember that Diddy allowed Chris Brown to stay into one of his homes after that incident with Rihanna.
Clearly have a lot of people going, why would you do that? Why would you give Chris, a guy who hit a girl and he's jet skiing around in your, I don't understand. Because, I mean, listen, I was a huge fan of Chris's. I love his music. He's a talented guy. But to hit a girl.
Yeah, because I know both of them, and it's my house. And I'm allowed to give my house to whoever I want to give my house to. That's number one. Number two is.
All of them linking up. All of them backflipping to the next light-skinned woman or non-black woman that they're going to abuse. All of them. All of y'all are sick. Every one of y'all. Every one of you all. Chris Brown defenders are the worst because we will see this long track record of Chris Brown doing incident after incident after incident and always involved in something time and time again. I will never understand how someone got in trouble and feels as though everybody's out to get me, but yet I'm always into mess. Your hand is always in the light-skinned cookie jar. Always in there. And you're getting more than cookies, if we're being honest. You are always the culprit. You always at the scene of the crime. You worse than Ron Weasley, Harry Potter, and Hermione. Like, every time we walk up, every time we turn around, you is in some mess. But I ain't do it. You're guilty. And it's time that we start no, he is what he is. So I'm not understanding why Kelly Rowland was up there. Wait, telling folks, y'all not going to disrespect him for what? Girl, what he got on you? What does he have on you? Why do we need to defend him? And you got Victoria Monet, pitiful in the comments. Can I open? Going to the, y'all need some help. Y'all need some help. And I can see that we all work together and we don't want to murky the waters and all of that. I get that. Maybe I don't want to cause no drama because I am around these folks and I don't want it to be awkward. But if someone has a history of these things and you are always next to them and around them, then you is just as guilty, to be honest. And that's how I'm gonna start looking at y'all, because currently right now, we ain't got no time. The earth is burning to the core. We can't breathe. Everything's expensive. The last thing I need to be doing is spending money on folks who refuse to recognize that these people who they are around are wrong. We are just now seeing Diddy, who's been notorious and folks have made jokes about him and his past for decades, now getting some type of accountability. And what that's going to look like, because he may get off. We don't know. And the very thought that he can get off should be alarming. So this never-ending cycle of abuse with men in the industry has lived on and on and on. We've seen documentaries after documentaries of these men, and y'all just shoe shiner right next to him. I'm going to let y'all go. Y'all albums ain't that good. I can listen to that on the iPod. So Chris Brown, he's locked up. And you know what? Don't really care. Don't really care, to be honest. That's what he get. That's what he get. Now, am I saying it's karma? I don't believe in karma. But I do believe in coincidence. I don't believe in karma, because if karma was real, she'll be making she got a long way to go, in the words of Cassie. She got a lot of folks to touch and agree with before she even come to talk to black folks. Okay? Before she got a long way to go before she start talking to black folks. Okay, but she do need to tap on some of y'all, touch and agree with some of y'all, and snatch y'all right on up. So I don't believe this is karma. I think it's coincidence, and it's funny. And I can't help but to laugh. I'm going to laugh at that. I laugh because I thought it was funny. So let's laugh at some more jokes, because it seemed like Tory Lanez took the pop the balloon trend as a real thing. So Tory Lanez got his balloon popped while he was in prison. And girl, let me tell you, when the story first came out, I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know. I was not sure about it. And time went on, and reportedly something did happen. So he got sliced and his balloon was popped in prison. And honestly, I'm not even going to say it's karma or any of that, because the person who has been accused of doing that to Tory Lanez or Tory Lanez reportedly is in prison for doing SA to a minor. So he's serving a life sentence. Tory Lanez is in jail for 10 years for his conviction of shooting Megan Thee Stallion. We can talk about prisons being dangerous and how, a lot of folks are unfortunately being unalived in prison, not just by the cellmates, but also by the system and all types of things. There's been several stories across the U.S., folks being underfed. Remember, during the winter, folks were freezing. People were freezing in these prisons. So yes, we can definitely talk about that. So yes, Daystar Peterson, aka Tory Lanez, was reportedly sliced while he was in prison, and he had to go to the OR. Now they're saying he was sliced up 14 times or whatever, and his lungs and stuff was collapsing and all that. This is a report from his father. Lane's father updated members of the press on his son's health. He said that on May 13th, medical professionals had already removed the tubes that were draining the fluids from his lungs, adding that they took them out because they said he is recovering remarkably. I don't believe it, based off what I have seen on Grey's Anatomy and even The Last of Us, and honestly knowing nurses and stuff and having conversation with them. There is no way he would have been that bad that his lungs are injured, and you will be in the OR for weeks, maybe even months to recover. I mean, we even seen that for those who are watching Last of Us. Child, Ellie, how long was she in a coma? She was down bad after being kicked in the chest and her lung collapsed. Like, that is very serious. It takes a minute for the lungs to heal. That's true stuff. If it was that bad, the way they want social capital so bad, they would have posted pictures of him up there like that. They would have had pictures of him laid all out. Definitely pictures would have been all across social media. We would have saw it. These folks are hungry for clout. They definitely would have exploited that if that truly happened. Let's talk about that, because what is happening is now Tory Lanez attorneys, new attorneys apparently or whatever, he's having someone who is representing him who is from an organization that does things to protect black men who can afford whatever, legal counsel, whatever. And they did a press conference to talk about new evidence. New evidence is coming that is suggesting that Kelsey may have pew-pewed Megan, which is quite interesting because I thought that Megan was never pew-pewed. I thought it was glass. What happened to the glass? And she wasn't nothing in her foot. She was dancing the next day. There was no bullet fragment. There was nothing. I thought it was all a lie. Also, now we believe that Kelsey did it. Now, they're saying that Kelsey's bodyguard, which doesn't even make sense because who is Kelsey? The most famous thing that Kelsey has ever done has been Megan Thee Stallion's friend and gotten some cheap shoe carnival shoes from Nicki Minaj. That's the only thing that she's done. That's the most important thing that she's ever done, to be honest. Like, who is Kelsey? Why does she need a bodyguard? It makes absolutely no sense. So the bodyguard is saying that he overheard some stuff that was suggesting that Meg was pew-pewed by Kelsey. Now, folks are taking it and running with this. Running to the hills. Yes, I knew Megan wasn't shot by Tory. I knew that based on all of the other things, because this is evidence. Allegedly. What about all the other evidence we've seen? The phone call. Him getting on the horn and saying he's sorry he did that. I'm sorry. Remember, he was on the phone begging and pleading. Don't do it. I'll give you some money. I'll do that. Remember all of that? Remember all the other things? Also the neighbor who said they saw him, the gun being in his car. All of these things, none of that matters. Because I'm going to tell y'all the real tea. None of that matters because they're not looking for the truth. They're looking to protect an abuser. And history has shown us that that's a lot of folks' favorite thing to do. Period. As I just finished talking about Chris Brown and his defenders. We got to stop with this mess. And right now, there's a Twitter account that is building social capital off of this trial, who some of y'all may be following, especially the gays. Hey, y'all have given this man so much social capital, and he is notorious for these type of things. And I'm not talking about the dude with the big teeth. I'm talking about another one, another light-skinned terrorist. He has been notorious for building social capital, unethical social capital, word to my friend Kay, on this whole situation. Like, it's not even about the truth or reporting this in the best light. It's about building social capital. And we have to be aware of folks who are willing to say anything just to build a following. As I've told you all several times, doing this type of work can become addictive. It can make you feel dopamine's everything, getting followings and building a platform. It can do something to your chemistry. You have to be ethical in the way you talk about these things. Before I even talk, I didn't tweet out and say anything. I didn't even laugh at the possibility of Tory being sliced because I wanted to know if this was true. I didn't want to go to social media and jump because I know I have a following and what I say is carrying weight. I don't think I'm that big nigga, but I do believe there's a lot of people who follow me who do believe in the things I'm saying. And I want to make sure that I'm being accurate when I'm talking about it. So you saw a couple of accounts started to post things about this story, and it just didn't make any sense. And I had a conversation with one of my friends who is an attorney. He informed me that if this was some true evidence, that Tory Lanez's team will be taking this and sending it to the courthouse. Like, they would file petitions and all of that. Hey, we got some evidence. And the judge might open the case back up if it's some damning evidence, but it's not. That the only thing that will probably get Tory Lanez something is an early release based off of what allegedly happened with the slicing and his lungs being popped. That's the only thing. But if this is some real evidence, we would have saw him, the attorneys, send this to the courthouse and follow up and do what they need to do. They're not doing it. They're doing press conferences because they know they can play with these press conferences. They know they can build social capital and do all of that. You don't need to be accurate in reporting the press conference because people are going to run with it because a lot of folks are going to talk about it and show it because, hey, this is attention. We're not worried about being accurate. We're worried about getting attention. The same way we saw Trump and his team filing all these lawsuits everywhere, and the stuff that they were saying online about the election being rigged was not what they was bringing in the courthouse because they ain't going to play on their top like that. They ain't going to play with their top like that, but they can play in our face like that. So that's why we got to be like, no, that don't make any sense. So this whole thing now is being tied to Tory Lanez getting his balloon popped. All of this is being tied to that. And they're doing it in a very strategic way to make it seem for the audience, for the people who are hungry to defend an abuser, that there is some system in place that is trying to get Tory Lanez to protect Megan Thee Stallion. That Rock Nation is out here to get Tory Lanez. Who is Tory Lanez? Who is Tory Lanez? Is he trying to buy NBC? Is he trying to buy Discover and MasterCard? Like, who is Tory Lanez? That man is not on that type of level. He's not a billionaire. He's not even a millionaire. What does he have? The only thing that he has is abuse. And that's enough to justify that you shouldn't have to be punished for doing these things because women lie. That's where we are at. That's where we are at. And I need folks to understand how people react to all these stories speaks to how they feel about victims, point blank, period. And also female victims. Pay attention because that's exactly what's happening. And they're playing on this. And you got all these folks, free Tory, free Tory. None of these folks are interested in actual facts. And I'm not going to be arguing with these folks like I'm Mark Lamont here. I ain't sitting next to Joe Budden. I'm not going to be arguing with y'all. I say what I say and I move on. You ain't going to catch me in the comments. Matter of fact, you won't even catch me talking to a man that is saying Megan wasn't shot. You will never catch me posting on social media about a conversation. I'm disappointed in you. No, I'm disappointed in y'all wanting to believe that a person is good based off what they look like. You don't even have to ask these questions on the first date. You can pay attention to so many other things and it will tell you where a person stands at. I don't need to hear someone's opinion about where they fall on the Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. I can pay attention to so many other things. And it's not how they talk to servers. So many other things that show up. I'm like, It's easy because people who think like that and believe that Megan Thee Stallion wasn't pew pew, they're very loud about it. And they're not going to be quiet about it. They're just not. They can't help themselves because at the end of the day, they're upset that a man is possibly being punished for something that he's been accused of. Because a lot of time, that's them. But those are my thoughts. Tell me what y'all think about the whole story, child. Do not give these folks no social capital, no social clout, because these folks are thirsty for attention. That's all I got. Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.